Cheerio and tally ho, no DQ Galaxy. Tis I, the General, Jerry Slaughter, with me as always, the Wizard of No DQ, Stephen Osborne, doing our NXT Party for episode number 9 of NXT UK. As you can see by our television screen, we are not being joined tonight by James due to scheduling conflict, but we also have our next week's spot will be open, and if you ever want to just be on our show, talk wrestling, just hang out, have your mug on YouTube, hit us up in our DM, or just hit us up on Twitter, which will give you our handles and everything by the end of the show.
Right.
And while we're on the subject of no DQ, we'd like to go ahead and wish Aaron Rift a happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday, Medium Boss Man.
Medium Boss Man.
So we're going to get right into this episode of NXT UK. We want to remind everybody from the last time we were on TV, on YouTube, this is going to be one episode at a time as opposed to 2 episodes per week they're feeding us.
We found the hour and a half review segments that we were doing. They're just running on for too long. And it also was very difficult for us to remember what happened in that first one. Even with just taking notes, we felt like stuff was falling through the cracks. So this gives us more of a chance to be more comprehensive with our shows and get to talk a lot more and spend a little more time on them. Yeah. And also makes it easier for you guys to digest. Much like tea.
Yeah, instead of having to sit through an hour and a half to hear us talk about the main event of the second show, you can just watch one show when you have time and then watch another show when you have a time.
Yep.
But we're going to get right into it because they started strong with one of the quarterfinal or first round or whatever you want to call it matches for the Women's UK Championship.
I was really excited about this one because I saw in the brackets initially and I hadn't seen either one of these two wrestle. So everything that we saw out of these two was going to be brand new to me with Xia Brookside and
Rhea
Ripley. So what were your thoughts on the match?
I took no notes on this match. I just wanted to enjoy it. It was a pretty good match. I don't think it was finals quality.
No.
It wasn't given enough time to be that level of a match. It made both of them look good, and who was it? Rhea Ripley, of course, won. I mean, it's Rhea Ripley.
Yeah. Xia still relatively young, only 18 years old. And I think that's what they're trying to really, make a big deal of at this point. Is they want to push the fact that she could be the youngest women's champion for NXT UK and the first one at that. But at the same time, we knew going into this that there wasn't really much of a chance of that.
Yeah, so. I don't think anybody going into the first round that was 18 years old is going to make it into the second round.
No.
Or the semifinals. And come to find out later, we are going to get the semifinals, both matches, next week or next episode. And in this case, we're going to watch it after we do this video. And we're going to do another video on it. And you guys can watch us review that one after this one, probably by the time you watch it.
But the main things I liked in the match was naturally Xia Brookside played up the whole face card, wanted to shake Rhea Ripley's hand right at the beginning, just gets pie-faced. And that just automatically sets the tone for a match that's going to be a very physical one, where Xia is going to be going for more speed and more, have to result in more high-flying or just trying to, throw her off balance. But Rhea, good grief, she did nail the buckle bomb, which I guess is just a wrestling hello over there, because we see a lot of buckle bombs.
Yeah, they love the buckle bomb over at UK.
And then we got to see a submission move I had never seen before, the Hangman Indian Deathlock. Pretty much, it looked almost like a pretty much a standing cloverleaf, if anything.
Well, it's like an inverted or a reverse cloverleaf, because it's an Indian Deathlock, but with the arms, with the person hanging belly out.
Yeah.
Underneath, and it was really cool looking. I've never seen it before.
And it looks very difficult to reverse, to a point where you have to either grab hold of your opponent's ankle, or just get to the ropes. But even then, they can easily just drag you right away. So I was really impressed by the move.
Well, Rhea Ripley had both the size and the weight advantage. She also had the experience advantage.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Even if it is only by a few years. This was a good match, and it made both of them look good, even with Xia in defeat. And Rhea Ripley advances with some sort of abdominal stretch pump handle slam that they called a pump handle power bomb.
Yeah, and it looked impressive. I initially saw the abdominal stretch. I'm like, yay! Because I'm all about the abdominal stretch.
Yeah,
I'm all
this guy
about
loves the abdominal stretch.
The abdominal stretch is just great. But yeah, that match ended, and naturally Rhea Ripley had to go up and look at the belt, and she's ready for the semifinals. Simple as that. So that leads into James Drake and Zach Gibson being interviewed backstage.
Well, basically, it was an interview with Zach Gibson featuring James Drake standing there, looking menacing.
Well, I think it's gonna be the whole thing, because it just basically goes with the whole tag tournament that has not been announced for titles that have not been created yet, and it's just Zach pretty much saying these guys have known each other for years. That whole James Drake helping them last week wasn't really, a fluke thing. They've known each other for 15 years. And sure enough, that I did my little bit of research, and they are 2-time Progress Tag Team Champions.
Yes.
So if this tag tournament does go down, even with just what I'm seeing from Zach Gibson and James Drake, there's a good chance that they can go all the way in the tournament if there is one. And that'd be great, because we need a good heel tag team other than the Coffees, who are just more like Coffees and Wolfgang, which are more or less of a faction.
Right.
So
there's kind of faction warfare going on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of faction warfare going on there. I just want to see some solid tag teams, and that's it. And that'd be a good start right there, because those two are just hated just for the sake of being hated at this point.
Yeah, it seems like this whole interview was just a way for drinking your fake tea.
Yes, you never catch it? I'm always drinking the fake tea. I'm drinking my Never tea.
So this was basically a way to set them up as a tag team, and I'm looking forward to it. Sure, why not? It looks good. Looks like a good idea. And then you have Zach Gibson as the mouthpiece, because every time he's on a mic and there is a crowd there to boo him, the crowd will boo him because they hate this guy for who he is.
And all James Drake has to do is just sit there and mug the entire time. And that's it.
And be a credible help in the corner.
Yes.
So.
But speaking
of, I was going to say, speaking of Wolfgang and the Coffees, we get a video, an exclusive. I guess this was from last week, or.
Oh yeah, it was the end of the night after the cameras had gone off the air and everything. They still managed to attack Mustache Mountain even more in the back.
Well, they specifically targeted Trent Seven, and they took him out with a piece of equipment packaging, or one of them big heavy looking boxes back there on wheels over the leg, and it was okay. Yeah, it furthers the storyline a little bit of.
And then he said, I think it was Joe Coffey that said 2 down, 3 to go.
2 down, 3 to go.
Yep. So that's just them taking down British Strong Style one by one.
Is there 2 more to that other than?
No,
other than Pete Dunne?
No. I mean, it's like 2 down, 1 to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 down, 1 to go.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. Well, I was really sold on this whole backstage attack thing until, after he said the line, he stomped on the case thing one more time, as if it was going to make any difference whatsoever. And it was a really weak-looking stomp. Yeah. It was almost like he just put his foot on it for 5 seconds, then let off of it. It's like, okay, we get it. His leg's injured.
Yeah, sometimes the props that they use for angles where it looks like they're debilitatingly injuring somebody are just less than believable.
It kind of took away from the segment for me, but at the same time, okay, point driven, they're going after them. Moving on.
Moving on. We get a match with Jack Stars, who is just getting to the end of his entrance. So we already know he is a jobber.
Oh,
setting up a squash match
with a Z.
Yeah, Jack Stars with a Z.
His logo even looks like the Stars Movie Network logo.
Maybe he's endorsed. Who knows?
He just screams jobber at this point.
Well, tonight he's being fed to Eddie Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie Dennis looked like just a madman. Just a very big madman. Just trying to play around with the smaller guy until the smaller guy attacks a lot. And he actually got him staggerish. Yeah, never got him down to a knee, but
with a series of European uppercuts and a forearm to the corner, he actually had him staggered. But yeah, it wasn't enough. If anything, it just pissed him off even more. So that led into pretty much the end of the match.
Yeah, Stars was just enhancement talent, which is fine. We knew this going in, knowing that he didn't have an entrance really at all. At least we got the end of his music and the end of his entrance.
But we also made mention the fact that Eddie Dennis sounded like he had new music. We're not.
Eddie Dennis's music, if it's not different, it sounds menacing.
Yeah, it's one of these things where maybe we were just so distracted by the fact we were finally getting to see this guy in action.
We didn't pay attention.
But I didn't really pay attention to his music the first time he wrestled. So he may not have had any at all. He may have just walked out to silence, which is possible.
So Dennis ends this match with his Severed Bridge, which is a Razor's Edge buckle bomb.
Yeah.
Again, they love the buckle bomb. And then out of that, he brings him into his Next Stop Driver, which is like a package that he holds him up like he's gonna do a driver, like a package pile driver. But then when he brings him down, it's more of landing on the back of the neck, like a brain buster would land, an inverted brain buster.
So that pretty much ends that match, and he just stands there screaming out in the crowd again. But let's see, right after that,
video package. It's just a recap of Mastiff and T-Bone, I guess an exclusive, again, from last episode, where they were fighting in the back, and then we get a tweet announcement on the screen from Johnny Saint that says next week.
Very good.
Next episode, thank you. I was very proud of getting the name right instantly.
Yes.
But we are going to get Mastiff versus T-Bone next episode, so we will review that on our next episode. Here, coming soon.
Wow, we're going to have two semifinal matches and that match going into that one, so that should be a really good show.
So, next up, we have Mark Andrews versus the Wild Boar Mike Hitchman. And he comes out, he looks really cool with his vest that has all the horns on it.
But he didn't have that cool mask this time, though.
Maybe somebody advised against it. Maybe he didn't breathe well in it.
I was about to say, he's like, Norman Osborn in like the first Spider-Man movie. He's scarier without the mask on. So
yeah, I guess so, yeah.
But he goes against Mandrew. And that pretty much going into this one, I already had Mandrew pegged to win anyway, because they're just building a strong following behind him at this point as well.
Honestly, I thought it could go either way. From what I remember of Hitchman, he is a good... He didn't win. He didn't lose. Hasn't lost yet, has he?
Hitchman?
Up to this point?
I thought he lost on one of the first shows.
Oh, anyway. I thought he looked like he stood a chance. He hits this fucking senton onto the apron onto Mandrews that was just wicked looking. And then does this running shoulder into the corner. Mandrews is up in the corner and he does like a spear essentially, but full speed spear.
It was like a boar gore.
And then that sets down Mandrews, and then he runs back in again for this inverted senton, where instead of doing a flip forward and diving, he flips sort of half backwards, landing ass into the second turnbuckle.
Yes.
And I thought at that point he had the match. but he did not.
I was about to say it was a good chain, but at the same time, it was one of these things where, and he actually got all of it, which you really don't see a lot of so far in NXT UK. It seems like a lot, I won't say they've been botched, but there's not really a lot of impact going into these finishes that, like, I'm thinking, man, this person's not going to get up. A lot of his moves that he does, they could easily be finishers, and they could actually put somebody down, but for some odd reason, they just want to keep on,
Yeah, they don't want to make a pin out of it.
No, they don't want to make a pin out of it.
Well, he goes for one too many moves. He goes for a top rope. I don't know if it was a frog splash or just a splash, but Manders gets out of the way.
Yep.
And he ends up taking advantage of the momentum, reverses a vertical suplex into his what is it?
Stun
dog millionaire. I like the move. It's a little contrived, but I like the move. I saw in this version of it.
Yeah.
I saw how he pushes into the spin to come around.
Yeah.
So it looks a little more credible the way he did it tonight or whenever they did this. But I still don't like the name Stun Dog Millionaire.
I think what I really like about it and also hate about it at the same time is the only way he could actually pull it off is reversing a suplex he's already been put into.
He should have done it forever ago.
Yeah, so...
although I couldn't swear that there was a vertical suplex before this in the match. And I think they're so regular that most people probably wouldn't either.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, like pretty much going to a well one too many times and him able to reverse it, but at the same time...
Well, he comes off of this reversal out of a vertical suplexer into a stunner and then goes for a shooting star press that he lands maybe a headbutt to the midsection out of.
Yeah.
To not clear all the distance. Came close. But he got the pinfall out of it.
We also, then we had our little discussion about, who has the best shooting star press. You and I both agree.
Oh, so. Absolutely. If you don't agree that Billy Kidman's 7-year itch isn't the best looking shooting star press, when he does it right. I know he was notorious, I think, for botching that quite a bit. But I think it's because...
That was actually more Paul London.
Oh, well, there you go. Learn something new every day. That's why I like this guy. I hear bad things about Billy Kidman, but he sets me straight.
You can't go wrong with Billy Kidman.
Yeah, his is just so fluid. The way I say it is like if you ever watch a slow-mo in a cartoon where the things are blowing along the wind and you see a feather go, that's how he comes off the top rope. Just so fluid and effortless.
Yeah.
Completely effortless. And that's why I think because everybody else has to jump into it.
Yeah.
And he just kind of doesn't even fall, just floops into it.
It's like there's almost no thought. It just comes so natural to him just to do that. So, yeah, but if you disagree with us or agree with us, go ahead and leave a comment down the bottom of the video.
Or stay till the end of the video. You can get our Twitters and you can tweet us about it.
Yep, that'll work too.
Call us out about our opinion on Billy Kidman being the best shooting star press.
Hey, Stefan.
Oh, hey, Jerry.
Hey, that is a swell t-shirt you have.
Oh, this old thing?
Yes, where might I procure one?
Oh, well, you can go to nodq.com/shirts, and it'll take you to Pro Wrestling Tees, where you can get all of nodq.com's t-shirts.
All of them?
All of them. All of your favorite nodq.com personalities, including Stephen Osborne, of course, the Wizard of No DQ.
He's all right.
You've got the World Wrestling Trivia Champion, Greg Cherry, the Pennsylvania sensation himself. You have the Wrestling Trivia Challenge superstar Chris Cass, Medium Cass himself. You have Cindy G, the Duchess of No DQ. You have the new Interstate Kyle Day shirt.
Oh, wow.
Happy Interstate Kyle Day, Jerry.
Happy Interstate Kyle Day to you too.
Thank you. You can also get Jeff Meacham and Talk Wrestling shirts.
Seriously?
You can get the new Tyler Toilet Smith t-shirt. And it is a hoot.
Knee slapper.
And you can get Big G's shirt. You can also get new No DQ t-shirts such as the No DQ Galaxy shirt
For the month of November, all of the Super Chat donators got put on a t-shirt for the No DQ Galaxy.
That's really nice of them.
And you can also get the brand new Ladies of No DQ shirt. If you like the Ladies of No DQ, they all now have their own shirt. And you can also get the new Fire Virtue shirt.
With all these great shirts, how can I decide which one I want?
Well, just go to Pro Wrestling Tees and search for NoDQ.com. And if you get enough shirts, you can actually save money.
Oh, I love saving money.
Well, this weekend, Pro Wrestling Tees is having a Black Friday sale of 20% off. And if you purchase more than $100 worth of shirts, that's like, say, 5 shirts, then you get 5 Loot Crate type box memorabilia items kind of things. Whatever that means.
I like surprises as well with my great t-shirt deals.
But if you get $150 or more, you get free shipping.
Oh, that's even sweeter of a deal. I can't wait to get onto the website and order me some shirts.
So that means if you just order 7 or 8 NoDQ.com shirts, you can actually save money on shipping while saving 20% because it's Black Friday.
Oh, I can't wait for this sale to begin.
So make sure you go to NoDQ.com/shirts to get all of your NoDQ.com t-shirts.
So that leads us back to an interview with Eddie Dennis, who's still sweaty and irritated from his match earlier. And Ashton Smith comes in, who he had told the week prior to go ahead and,
keep an eye on
keep an eye on the match. And Ashton more or less told him, it was cute.
You did good, but nothing I can't handle.
Yeah, you did great. There's a couple little spots there, but nothing I couldn't do or couldn't handle. And he walked away, which pisses Eddie off.
Yes, mostly because he slapped him in the arm. That friendly, papa, yeah.
Good going, champ.
Yeah, so he's just yelling at him about, hey, you know who I am? Don't you fucking touch me.
Yep.
Don't you fucking touch me. And that's kind of what I get out of that. And
yeah.
Hopefully this leads to a meaningful match.
Your mother dresses you funny, and like it just seemed very forced, but at the same time, I'm excited to see where this goes.
So next up we have a match with Isla Dawn versus Toni Storm, and as soon as I wrote this down, I underlined Toni Storm because there's no way Toni Storm isn't winning this match.
Yeah, but right out of the box.
Right out of the box.
Yeah, Isla just nails her with a drop kick to the corner.
And completely takes over this match.
She owned this match. It's like a strike after strike, kick after kick, hold after hold. It was all Isla Dawn. She was like super impressive in this match. And all it took was almost like a John Cena like turn by Toni Storm with like 2 moves, and she was down and out. And it was a depressing ending. It was an ending we knew we were gonna get, but at the same time, kudos to Isla Dawn for an awesome match.
Isla Dawn looked great. Toni Storm looked babyface. This was a babyface showcase. It made her look like she could take a whole lot of punishment and then come back at the end and still win the match.
I was telling him, it was like she looks like a earlier version of Ashley Mazzaro, and they're just playing that up to a point where it's like, you can see this girl as women's champion, but at the same time, she didn't really impress me in this match. Isla sure as hell did. Yeah,
absolutely. But I've seen several other matches with Toni Storm, and she has impressed me in previous competition.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it. It made Isla Dawn look good. Isla.
It's the S is.
I got it right earlier.
I know you did.
Isla Dawn looked good even in defeat, and that's the best you can hope for out of a match. Because I mean, Storm is pretty much already over.
Yeah.
So you don't need to do that with this match. You just need to move her on into the next
And
round.
I think if anything, this probably put Isla Dawn over because like now people are going to be clamoring for more of her because she was just straight up vicious in this match.
I know I am. I'm looking forward to another match.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'm the wizard. She's the modern day witch. So
Yeah,
it's match made in heaven right there.
Pretty much that's what that is.
But we get a Storm Zero out of Tony Storm for the pinfall, and there we go. We have all 4 members of the semifinals.
Yep.
Which next we get a announcement about that next week we will see both semifinal matches. So we were going to get down to the final 2 on the next episode, which we will bring to you next.
Yep. Like probably within the next couple hours after this one, so
if not immediately right after. So we'll see. Anyway,
yeah.
Next up, we have what is essentially the main event.
Yep.
It is a underappreciated match, certainly by me, because I think they said this was going to happen last episode. I think they announced it for the next week.
They announced it last week.
I don't remember that, and I don't particularly care about their feud. It was a good match, but for a main event, having no real emotional investment into their storyline or whatever's going on, it was okay.
I think if anything, it was just to showcase Devlin more over like with somebody that's a little more established. Because the people he's been fed so far have been like, I think he went against Sid Scala in one of his matches.
Yeah.
He's pretty much going through a whole jobber circuit, but now he's facing somebody a lot more established in Ligero.
Well, I mean, Ligero's been doing his very similar jobber search.
Yeah.
Going through all of the jobbers. I believe this is the first time we've gotten a showcase match where both competitors are undefeated going in. And I notice in the UK shows, they don't use the word undefeated a lot. Because there's not very many shows. And so a lot of the guys and girls are undefeated right now.
Yeah, it doesn't...
It's a meaningless fucking term.
I was about to say, it makes them more special to have an actual win-loss record.
Yeah, I would say so. Other than just a complete loss record, like most of the jobbers.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of glad to see Ligero lose, because he is one of those that has gone through every week, and every time he's had a match, he wins. It's always against enhancement talent. And finally somebody like that loses. So I'm happy for that. I'm looking forward to the first time a jobber, an enhancement talent guy or girl, gets in the ring with a superstar and is actually able to defeat them.
Yes, that actually would launch yet another, potential star for the company, but it also shows that the person that they're going against, that star himself, it could be a ring general, somebody to call a match and actually make somebody actually look good, versus being so focused on looking good in their match, they could make somebody else look good. So, with Devlin, we saw a lot of what we usually see out of him. There wasn't really much going on. We had Ligero pulling off a whole bunch of his high-flying tactics and whatnot. We had Devlin doing a bunch of wear down holds. He did the that standing, what was it? Not the, he did the Spanish fly, but
Are you talking about where they were trading off master locks?
Yeah.
That was a little bit fun.
Yeah.
Because they literally each had a full Nelson on for twice a piece.
Yeah.
For a second or two.
Yeah.
Until finally, I believe Devlin got a half Nelson suplex out of it. So it did pay off.
You're thinking about a completely different match.
Am I?
Yes.
Oh. See, that's how unimpressed I am with this show. What match was that?
He told me out of the get-go that he wasn't really impressed with it, but I can go with that. That was with
Andrews and Hitchman.
Yeah, because he went for the half Nelson, then he went for that shoulder block into the corner, and yeah.
That's really embarrassing. I should edit that out of here, but
no,
we're gonna leave it in.
I say flow with it.
Flow with it. Go with it.
Because.
Well, I didn't take any notes until the end of this match, because the end of this match was really impressive.
Well, yeah, the end of the match was great, but everything else leading up to it, it was pretty much a standard, like Jordan Devlin or an El Ligero match. There wasn't really much else going on with it. But like the finish, yeah, that's where the bread and butter was. Let's see, we had
them up on the steps just outside the corner.
Yeah.
And Devlin kicks Ligero off the steps, and he comes down head first into the steps.
Yep.
Knocks him silly, and then just long enough for Devlin to go up to the middle rope from there and do a moonsault to the outside.
And without wasting any time whatsoever.
Throws him right back into the ring.
There's like no hesitation whatsoever. The second he landed on his feet, there's no mugging to the crowd. There's
Picked him up, slung him in the ring.
Slung him back into the ring because he knew he was short on time.
And he comes right into the ring. Ligero's in a seated position, so he takes him out with a running knee, smack to the face.
Yep.
And then picks him up into his finisher, which I don't know if we've gotten a name for yet, but it's like a fireman's carry into a sidewalk Michinoku driver. So he takes him out of a fireman's carry into a Michinoku driver, but instead of doing it in the center between the legs, he does it over here on the side.
It's pretty much a version of the Emerald Frozen. It used to be used by Masahiro Misawa over in Japan, but yeah. This is also on the No Mercy 64 game, so that's how I remember that move. But, yep, and that was our main event for the evening. So, we have a rating system, I guess, on this one.
Yes.
Are we doing? Are we still?
Well, it wasn't the end of the main event necessarily, because there was a little bit of aftermatch.
Ah, yes.
We had not Ligero, but Devlin yelling out into the crowd. And he's basically calling out Pete Dunne. And one thing I noted about this venue is the wrestlers themselves can yell things in the ring, and the whole audience can hear.
Yeah.
The acoustics are great.
Oh, yeah. They've actually gotten to a point where, like, especially with NXT UK, I'm not sure if it's the microphone work or maybe they have something else attached to the camera, but we pick up a lot of what the wrestlers say in the ring versus, like, anybody having to guess or the announcers having to tell us. And you know the announcers aren't there. So we know, so I think that's the reason why they do it that way, is so we actually hear what's being said, not being told.
So I think this makes Jordan Devlin 4-0 in NXT UK.
Yeah.
And I would say that should get him a title match, or at least in the conversation for a title match. The fact that he calls out Pete Dunne, I think we could see a title match between him and Pete Dunne in the next 3 or 4 episodes.
Yep, I'd say not this next episode since we have so much else going on, but I'd say the one afterwards, probably 2 weeks. I give it 2 weeks and we'll have a match between.
So hopefully we'll have that to call next week. However,
that's the other question I'm gonna have though. I know it's recorded way earlier and whatnot, but what effects is Pete Dunne injured at this point, like he was at War Games with his knee all bandaged up?
I think if we ever see Pete Dunne on NXT UK and his knees bandaged up, his right knee,
yeah,
that's always important because in kayfabe terms, when it's always storyline, if it's the left knee, you can be pretty sure it's not a real injury.
Yeah.
Because that's where they go. Because all the power has to come off of the right side, so they save the offense for the right side and the defense for the left side.
Yep.
But anyway, back to tonight's episode 9 of NXT UK. On the NXTea Party, we use the 5 spots of tea system instead of 5 stars or 5 whatever.
Yeah.
And I usually go first here.
Yeah.
So this segment was a little better than meh for me. 2 3/4 stars.
2 3/4?
2 3/4. I was not engaged really. It was until the end. That last sequence by I can't even remember his name. Devlin, right?
Yeah,
Jordan Devlin. That last sequence onto Ligero was sweet, but nothing else really engaged me. And the whole show in itself, good but not great. It did its job, and I enjoyed the quarterfinal matches, but not as good as I think they could have been.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2.75, 2 3/4 spots of tea.
When we were actually discussing initially, I had said, what is it, 3 3.25 at least, but I'm gonna go ahead and bump it down to 3, just from doing this video with you right now, because the fact that you actually harken back to another spot in another match between Mandrew and Wild Boar, that just says to me, it's like, okay, this match could have been a lot better, and this one was actually, for some reason, just felt like it was better.
Well, the only entertaining spots in the match are the stuff that you really expect to see out of Ligero, because he's like trying to prove himself as this luchador. And so you see some high-flying stuff out of him, but really it's just your basic match. And there was no story in this match whatsoever.
No, it was just a challenge match, and that was it. Like, the women's match that we had for regular NXT last night, or
for what's NXT?
For what's NXT, yeah, between Nikki Cross and Candice LeRae. There is story going into that.
6 or 7 weeks of it.
Yeah, and also the fact that we had story bridging off that story.
Yeah.
We had a lot of story going into that match and a lot of anticipation. Versus this one where he just told Ligero his mask looked funny, and that was it.
Yeah, but the match last night on NXT between Cross and LeRae was making up for a really lackluster show.
Yeah.
This show wasn't lackluster. NXT UK episode 9 was a good show. It just wasn't great. And I wouldn't give it 3 stars, 2 3/4 for the main event, just because it had no story, and it could have been way better, I'm sure. So that's my rating. What's your rating? Oh, that 3 stars.
Yeah.
2 3/4, 3 stars, or not stars. Spots of tea.
So, yeah.
Spots of tea, reminding me to get my teacup.
Yes. So that's the end of this episode. Catch us on Twitter naturally. Stefan, go ahead.
So you can find me on Twitter at nodq.com/Stefan, STEFAN. Or if you just log on to Twitter, it's Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. And that's where you can DM me if you'd like to be on a future episode of NXT UK, NXTea Party. And this gentleman here.
Yep. I'm at NoDQGeneral on Twitter, and I have 1 follower. 1. He has been harping on me about this whole time, and he still doesn't even follow me on Twitter. Why do I have it? It's just sitting there. But go ahead and add me. Go ahead and follow me, and we'll talk wrestling. Whatever. Grilled cheese sandwiches. I don't care.
You can also talk to both of us, or at least swap memes with us on his wrestling group on Facebook. That's Armbar, all capital letters, ARMBAR, exclamation point.
And what's it? Anything else we need to wrap up with?
No, I don't believe so. So please join us next Wednesday or Thursday for NXT or What's NXT, and join us next week for our 1 or 2 episodes, depending on how many come out of NXTea Party. And thanks for having a spot of NXT with us. Bye, everybody.